What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's having a great day. Do me a favor, smash that like button. And if you get anything from this content, consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot, and I really would appreciate it. So I've talked about telling this story for a while now, but I haven't fully committed to doing it because, one, it was some things that were illegal, right? Two, this was a long time ago. This isn't me anymore. I feel like sometimes when my life changes drastically, like when I got married or when I had a child, I feel like that old life of mine ends and a new one begins. And the person that I am revolves around the center of my world. So if the center of my world changes, i.e., having a kid, my kid is now the center of my world, I have different morals and principles about myself than I had before. When I was younger, I was pretty wild. I did a lot of things that I regret. I did a lot of things that I wish I hadn't done. And one of those things has to do with the cartel. Now, when we start talking about the Idaho Four Case and we start talking about the conspiracies and the rumors and the theories, the first thing that people bring up is the drug theories, right? Oh, well, maybe the cartels had something to do with this. This was a professional style hit. This could have been this. This could have been that. And then you have all the naysayers that come out and they say there's no chance that this had anything to do with the cartel. You're living in fairy tale land. This is real life, not TV. This type of stuff happens in real life. So sit down and listen. So when I was younger, in my teens and early 20s, I had a job, but my job only paid me about $300-400 a week. So at the end of every week on Friday, I would take my $400 paycheck. I'd take $250 from it. I would go to my buddy's house and I would buy a quarter pound. I would take that quarter pound, I would break it down into 4 ounces, and I would sell it for $100 a piece. I would turn my $250 into $400. I would then do that as many times as I could before I ran out of people to buy it. When I ran out of people to buy it, whatever I had left, I would keep for the rest of the week, and I would sell whatever off and on to whoever came by wanting it, and it would always get me $30, $40, $50 a day throughout the week, right? And back then, $30, $40, $50 a day, you could make it all day. You didn't even have to touch your real paycheck anymore after that. So I did that. I did that for a long time. Then, me and my best friend, who also did the same types of things, we started dating these two girls. And these two girls had a friend group. And we got into this friend group, right? And we're hanging out, we're talking. Well, one of the girls had a brother. And her brother went to prison. So while he's in prison, we're talking to him. And he says, well, we're working at the steel mill. And at nighttime, nobody's there but us. Y'all could come down there, bring some beer, bring some pot. We can get high, we can drink, we can do whatever. And then y'all leave. And we'll go back to jail and check back in. We do it sometimes. It's no big deal. So stupid little us were like, awesome, that sounds cool. We'll come down there this weekend, blah, blah, blah. So we end up going down there. We're hanging out. We're smoking. We're drinking. We're doing whatever. We get ready to leave. We were in my car. I didn't want to drive my car home with weed in my pocket, right? Because we had all been drinking. I hadn't. I'm not a drinker, but everybody else. And I didn't want cops coming up, smelling alcohol, searching the car, finding weed, arresting me. I didn't want that. So I gave it to somebody that was there. Well, the person that was there happened to have friends in another state, really close to the Mexican border. It used to be a part of Mexico. You can figure that out on your own. He had friends there. And he was telling us later on that since we did that, he felt like he could trust us. So he was going to send us 10 to 15 pounds on front through his buddy. And when we got that, we would sell it and we would send him the money back. And the only thing they wanted in return for doing that for us is for us to send them $500 a week. $250 from me, $250 from my buddy. And they would hook it up. So we agreed to it. We said, yeah, that'll work. We never expected it to come through. People talk like that all the time, but you never expect it to actually get a package. Well, a few weeks go by. My buddy calls me. What are you doing? Well, I'm washing the dishes. Stop what you're doing and come here right now. I'm busy. No. You don't understand. This is not a choice. Stop what you're doing. Come here right now. All right, I'll be there in a minute. stop what I'm doing, get my girlfriend. We go down to his house, walk in the door, money all over the table, oregano stacked up in the floor. And he says, I've already sold enough to pay for it. The rest of this is our profit. We'll split this, and then next time we'll both sell it to get it. We don't have to go through the whole process here. You guys know how this works, right? So we sell, we send, we sell, we send. This goes on for about 6 months. Things are going great. Great. We're making more money than we had ever made. We had come up with a plan to go to this certain place, have it sent there. And when they unloaded the buses at this certain place, they would put the packages against the wall. And whoever was on those buses, they would grab their luggage and their packages from off the wall and walk out. And anybody who wasn't on the bus, packages would go behind the counter and we would have to sign for it. Well, we would always make sure we were there when the bus got there. That way, when they set the packages against the wall, we could grab them and leave. A few months into it, it started getting harder and harder for us to schedule the time with the bus. Buses run late, buses run early. It really takes up a lot of time to be sitting around waiting. People get suspicious, right? So we gave them my real name. We had them send it to us. And then I give them my driver's license and I signed for these packages. And we were getting these packages. I started picking them up on my own. After about 6 months of that, I go pick it up one day. I'm pulling it out to my car, and this guy hollers my name. He said, "Those are mine." I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "Those are mine." And he shows me his ticket. I didn't read his ticket. I knew what I had. I knew it was mine. I knew the name that was on it. I knew it was mine. So I tell him, "Well, this is my tracking number. It's mine." He said, No, you don't understand. It's mine." So at that point, I'm terrified. I don't know what's going on. I know what's in this package, but I don't know why this person is telling me that it's his. So I'm like, okay, well, we can go back in and we can figure it out. He said, No. It's yours, but it's also mine. I sent it to you. Oh, okay. Well, what do you want to do? He says, "Can we talk?" So we get in my car. We're driving around. We got 30 pounds of oregano in the trunk while we're driving around talking about prices and quality and how the person that has been sending it to us hasn't been doing good on his side back there. And he doesn't want to go through that person anymore. He knows that we pay good. He scouted us out through that guy. And now he just wants to skip that guy completely and sell it directly to us and us pay him directly. So we decide, great, that's what we're going to do. It's better for me. It's better for you. Let's do it. So we make a deal. I go back. I go straight to my best friend's house. I explain everything to him, tell him what happened, tell him how freaked out I was about it, explain the whole story, but then things start popping off. Things go great for a really long time. Everything's going as smooth as it can. We're making more money than we've ever made in our life. Ridiculous amounts of money at certain points in times. But when you start doing that, you start attracting attention to yourself. You start having things you shouldn't have. People start looking twice, right? Well, my buddy got busted. He got arrested. He was living too flashy. He didn't keep a real job like I did. He didn't do a lot of the little things that would have kept him out of trouble, but he didn't do that. And he got caught. He got arrested. And once he got arrested, that was a reality hit for me. That was the time where I was like, oh, I could throw my whole life away. It's not worth it. It's not that much money for me to be doing this. But the point of telling this story is that person that met me at the Greyhound, that person that said he was cutting out that other guy and that he was going to work with us directly from now on, that guy was part of the cartel. I didn't know it at the time. I wasn't even smart enough to think about it. I knew it a month or two after, while we're working with him, when he's telling me that he's got people in this place and people in that place, and that's how the system runs because of this person greasing the wheels over here and this person here to make sure this goes right. He had people everywhere. He had an organization. He had a company, as he called it. Now, I say this just to point out the fact that it's not so crazy to think that college students might be wrapped up with cartels in certain ways. You see, my story and the events that happen in my life They're not rare. Things like this happen. Young people are how drugs move in this country. It's not a bunch of old people out selling dope. It's young people. It's not a bunch of rich people. Maybe rich people fund things. Maybe people get rich off of drugs. But it's not rich people who are moving the drugs around. It's the lower income, lower class people looking for a way to get to the top. Looking for a way to be better. Now, in the things that I did, I regret them. I wish I hadn't done them. I'm ashamed of them. But they happened. It was part of my life, part of who I am today. It gave me hindsight and knowledge. I hope it helped you realize that just because something seems crazy to us doesn't mean that another individual isn't living that crazy of a life where that would be normal to them. Because it happens all the time. A lot of people's lives you think are normal are far from it. A lot of people you think you know everything about, you don't know 5%. Life is complicated. I'm not proud of what I did, but I did it. It happened. I was young. I was in my 20s. I was a college student for parts of it. And I was working with the cartel. So it's not unheard of. It's not that rare. When I'm sitting here reading comments, people acting like it's crazy to think that some young 20-somethings could be tied in with the cartel. Now, I'm not trying to say that these students were. I don't know these students. We haven't got to hear a whole lot about many of them. We know about Kaylee. They said she was a grinder, a hustler, that she found a way to get what she wanted, that she wasn't scared to get her hands dirty, that she would jump right in there and do it. Sounds like me. I'm just saying. That's the reality of life, right? This isn't a condemnation on any victims. This isn't a condemnation on anybody. This is not me saying, oh, these kids were drug dealers and that's why they did it and it deserved. No. It was never deserved. But the possibility that the cartel could be involved is a very real possibility. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel to see more, hit that notification bell so you'll get notified anytime I post. Have a great day, and we'll see you later.